Working with us, this is controversial, but in our experience, people get a better outcome when they tell us their budget. If they tell us their budget, we can often work towards it. And I don't mean work up, as in you can often say, you know, I've got this much money, what's the best that I can do? And you still get itemised pricing, but typically we work better with people who we know their budget, and we want people to be engaged. Let me give you our perfect client, and then I'll wrap up. The perfect client to us, we actually want challenging work. We like hard stuff. That's actually what we do. We want someone who is well represented. We want someone who's consistently accessible because we're doing hard stuff, we're doing challenging work. We want someone who knows their domain, who can actually answer the question. Some people, and it's okay, you don't have to know everything, but we like people who know their domain. We want someone who can make 80% of the decisions. It is challenging when you're working with someone and every time you want to get something done, they actually have to go and ask someone else's approval for a decision. And we want someone who, software often represents change inside an organisation. We want to work with projects that are successful. We want someone that can champion the change inside the business. They can actually be the advocate for the change inside the business. So you typically need at least a bit of oomph and seniority to make that work. They need to be reasonably resourced, and I mean that, you need to have reasonable resources, and they can separate function from aesthetics. Often in the early days of a project, you're going to see ugly versions of stuff because we're looking at key concepts, we're not looking at the final polished piece. And 80% of people can do that. There are 20% of people who simply cannot get past the fact that it's the wrong shade of blue. And it's like, yeah, but we haven't built the thing yet. We're just working on, does it work? And we'd like them to be nice, and ideally they'd have a little bit of experience, which is kind of what we're hoping to get today. Team members, just pop up for you who you're going to work with: a project manager, a user experience designer, that's someone who's going to work on those wireframes, just so you know what a UX person is. A graphic designer, someone's going to do the graphics. A business analyst is someone who, if you've got a really complex business processes, they're going to work with you on those. We've just employed our first business analyst. Typically our project managers did it before that. You're going to have developers. You want a tech lead. Something that people in this room have done really well is, we've got tech leads in our business. Often developers, they'll work on something and they'll smash through a whole bunch of stuff and then they'll hit something and they'll grind. And it's not inappropriate to say to a client, hey, look, it looks like we're spinning on this one. Can we get some attention from a tech lead, or can you get someone else? And often it's just that second set of eyes for someone to look at it. A good company will have a tech lead. Front-end developers specialise in those front-end pieces. So one of the things that is a mistake, most of our engineers really are not good at making web pages look nice. In fact, I had the experience with someone in the room where they rang me up and said, I'm thinking of getting a graphic designer. I said, what's the problem? And we looked at it and looked at the mock-up and what it did, and I thought, it's because the engineer built it. And we got one of the front-end guys out. I'm not sure, I haven't circled back to find out how it went, but a front-end developer should have the skill to make the layout look nice inside a web page, and a tester. I raced you on a little bit, but that's the end of our session.